Okay, so for a while I was living up in Boston, Massachusetts, and I kind of completely lucked into the job of being a video game tester for the company that makes Rock Band. Totally by accident, And whenever I tell people this, they look at me as if like I had the job that Tom Hanks had in the movie Big. That's what everybody thinks it's like. And it's not quite like that, and this is a story that kind of illustrates why. So this company was doing pretty well. They're called Harmonix, and at some point we decided to celebrate like our 15th anniversary, and right across the street from where we worked, it was like free drinks for 6 hours at this Irish pub across the street called Charlie's. And so I'm like, sweet. All you had to do was come in to the bar and say the code word blue balls, which was for some reason associated with our company. We have like a blue star or something, and that was the code word, and you got free beer. So I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying myself with my coworkers, and at some point, like within 2 hours, I probably had like 6 or 7 Sam Adams, and I'm feeling fantastic. And one of my friends calls me on the phone, and I decide to drop everything and take this call. I haven't heard from him in a while. So I'm walking around the streets of Cambridge, Massachusetts, walking around Central Square, which if you know it, is actually like where most of the bums in Boston gather to get as much money as they can possibly. And that's fine. And I totally decided to fit in with that gang. So we're talking on the phone, I'm catching up on our lives. And at some point, I realize I've talked myself past the point where I can control my bladder as a rational human being could. And I realize I need to pee right now, right here, immediately, in public. That's the only thing. So I just say, hey, I've got to go, to my friend, and I hang up. And I kind of look around. There's no outhouses in sight, because this is a public place. It's a city. Why would there be any outhouses? So my brilliant plan is to sit down on the curb and just allow things to take its course, which I do. And the feeling, it was interesting, because most of it was shame. What I felt was mostly shame, but on top of that, the physical gratification that was so good. So it was mixed emotions, like that Rolling Stones song. So I look down at my pants, and I look at them, and it almost looks like they're stained that way on purpose. They're so blue. My jeans are so blue at this point. So I pick myself up and think, well, there's only one thing to do. It's to go home at this point. So I get on the subway, and I start going home like this. And this is also just a wonderful example of white privilege, because I'm on the subway, and I'm sitting there with I stink. I've peed myself, like any common homeless person might do. You know what I mean? Just through the course of their day. And somebody comes up to me and thinks I'm responsible enough to give them the time. This young woman comes up and she's like, hey, what time is it? What's going on? And I'm like, oh, it's let me get my cell phone out that's stained in pee. It's 5:36. And I tell her the time, come home. I have a nice walk back to East Boston, and I suddenly remember, almost as if I'm telling myself the story at this point, that, oh shit, my girlfriend has 2 of her ex-roommates from college staying with us, and they're upstairs, and I'm about to walk in with my pants totally stained in urine. So, come up, open the door, and thank the Lord, it's pitch black, and they're watching a movie. So I get to kind of escape into my room, take off the pants, no harm, no foul. I just throw them in the hallway or something like that, and hang them up to dry. And the moral of the story is basically like, listen, if it had been like Tom Hanks in Big, he would have pissed his pants and had to confront his girlfriend at the end of the night. So that's it. Thank you.